Welcome back to Narrations. Tonight's story is bright, bold, and bursting with Christmas spirit, a tale wrapped in laughter, mischief, childhood wonder, and the powerful reminder that the smallest kindness can transform even the coldest heart. This is How the Grinch Stole Christmas, a story that begins with joy, drips with chaos, and blooms into something beautiful: redemption, belonging, and the rediscovery of love. The snowy mountain peaks shimmer beneath winter sunlight over the magical town of Whoville, nestled deep inside a snowflake. A world where Christmas is more than a holiday, it is a way of life. Every building glows under sparkling lights, every street bursts with decorations, and every who rushes with excitement, preparing for the most glorious celebration of the year. The Whos love Christmas with every beat of their hearts. They sing, they bake, they exchange gifts. They decorate their homes with towering trees covered in glittering ornaments, shimmering garlands, and glowing stars. And above them all, high atop the jagged, icy cliffs of Mount Crumpit, lives someone who despises everything about Christmas: the Grinch. Hidden inside a dark, twisted cave built from abandoned junk, the Grinch grumbles to himself, wrapped in a ragged green fur coat of misery. His yellow eyes glare at the distant glow of Whoville below, the sound of carols drifting upward like unwelcome smoke. Every laugh, every bell, every shout of joy grinds against his heart, a heart 2 sizes too small. His only companion is Max, his loyal dog, whose gentle nature is the one warm flicker in the cold cavern. Max watches the Grinch sharpen his hatred like knives, muttering endlessly about noise, chaos, and the unbearable joy that fills the air every Christmas. Back in Whoville, Christmas preparations reach a frenzy. Cindy Lou Who, a young girl with wide eyes, watches the town rush around her, gifts piled high, decorations stacked to the sky, everyone moving faster and faster. While others obsess over presents and competition, Cindy wonders if maybe Christmas has lost its meaning, lost its heart. She questions whether the season is truly about gifts and lights, or something deeper. Cindy's father, Lou Who, tries to reassure her that Christmas spirit comes from what they give. Her mother, Betty, stacks mountains of decorations, competing fiercely with their neighbor Martha May Whoville, the elegant, poised, glamorous woman admired by all, and adored secretly by the Grinch from afar. As Cindy asks questions, she hears whispers and legends about the Grinch, the terrifying creature on the mountain, the monster who hates Christmas, the villain no one has seen in years. Most Whos speak of him with fear or disgust. Yet Cindy feels something different, a soft tug of curiosity. She wonders why he hates Christmas. What happened to him? What made him so alone? The story unfolds through flashback, memories buried deep beneath hurt. Long ago, the Grinch was not a monster. He was a shy, gentle child with bright green fur and a hopeful smile. He grew up in Whoville among the other children, but he never fit in. His differences became fuel for cruelty. The other kids mocked him, laughed at him, treated him like an outsider. Only one person ever showed him kindness: Martha May, a girl who saw something special in him. He fell in love with her quietly, deeply, with all the fragile hope of a child desperate to belong. One Christmas, determined to impress her, the young Grinch made a handmade gift, a delicate ornament crafted with love. Wanting to look his best, he attempted to shave, but nicked his face and appeared in class covered in cuts and patches of messy fur. The children erupted in cruel laughter. Their teacher scolded them, but the damage was done. Humiliated, heartbroken, and trembling with rage and shame, the young Grinch destroyed the room in a storm of pain, and ran into the snowy night, climbing Mount Crumpit with tears freezing on his cheeks, declaring he would never return to Whoville again. There, he built his lonely fortress and sealed his heart away from the world. Back in the present, the Grinch watches Whoville with boiling hatred as celebrations grow louder, brighter, bigger. Their happiness burns him like fire. His irritation finally erupts. He can no longer ignore the noise, the songs, the joy. He descends toward the town, disguised in a cloak, slipping among the crowds like a ghost. He growls at decorations, snaps at children, steals treats, mocks the festivities, causing small chaotic disasters in every direction. But then, something unexpected, Cindy Lou sees him. She reaches out, speaks softly, unafraid. She sees not a monster, but someone hurting. When she falls into a dangerous situation, the Grinch saves her without hesitation, instinct kicking in before anger. He holds her safely above disaster, sets her down gently, his grumpy mask cracking just slightly before he storms away. Cindy watches him, stunned. If he was truly evil, he wouldn't have saved her. She decides he deserves a chance, deserves to be seen, heard, understood. And when Whoville prepares to crown the holiday cheermeister, the most celebrated figure of Christmas, Cindy nominates the Grinch. The town gasps in horror, shocked and offended. But rules are rules, and tradition demands that any nomination must be honored. Reluctantly, the mayor begrudgingly agrees, furious that the Grinch will return. Whoville braces for chaos. Lights blaze brighter, food piles higher, the celebration expands to absurd proportions, the town determined to prove Christmas belongs to them, not to someone like him. At the top of Mount Crumpet, the Grinch hears the announcement echo up the mountain, bouncing off stone walls, ringing through icy air. His face twists. His heart lurches. His world shakes. He screams, "Cheermeister?" Max whimpers. The Grinch paces wildly, torn between humiliation and curiosity, anger and longing, the desire to reject them and the hidden ache to be accepted. Finally, with dramatic flair, he prepares to go, fueled by chaos, mischief, and a spark buried deep beneath bitterness. He storms down the mountain toward Whoville, ready to face the world that once broke him. And somewhere inside, for the first time in years, something begins to move. The Grinch steps into Whoville cautiously, bracing for laughter and cruelty, but instead, he is greeted by applause, cheers, trumpets, and an explosion of decorations as the Who's sweep him into the center of the celebration. Lights flash, confetti rains, and music bursts through speakers. They dress him in a bright sweater, crown him with a wreath of holly, and pull him from one activity to the next, a whirlwind of games, contests, food, and holiday cheer. At first, he resists, stiff, defensive, eyes darting with suspicion. But slowly, laughter begins to rise from his chest, an involuntary sound, strange and rusty after years of silence. He eats plates of pudding, cookies, roast beef, and desserts stacked higher than his head. He rides a chair carried through cheering crowds, dances wildly, and for a moment, a small fleeting moment, he feels something he has not felt since he was a child. He feels joy. And high above the crowd, Martha May's eyes shine with warmth, the same gentle spark he once cherished. The Grinch smiles back without thinking, and his heart gives a painful, unfamiliar twitch, the first crack in the armor he has built for decades. But not everyone celebrates. The mayor seethes, furious that Cindy Lou has dragged the Grinch into the spotlight and threatened his perfect holiday image. Jealous and bitter, he steps forward with a cruel plan. He demands the Grinch accept a Christmas gift, a tiny black box. The Grinch opens it, expecting kindness. Inside is a razor, a reminder of the humiliation that destroyed him. Laughter ripples uncomfortably through the crowd. Whispering starts. The mayor insists Martha should marry him instead, proposing in front of everyone. The humiliation burns inside the Grinch like fire. The warmth, the joy, the possibility, all of it collapses. His face twists with fury. His voice breaks into a scream of pain and rage. He shreds decorations, destroys lights, flips tables, and sends the massive Christmas tree crashing to the ground. Sparks fly. Who's scream and scatter as chaos erupts. The Grinch storms out of Whoville, climbing the mountain in a wild frenzy, the laughter of his childhood tormentors echoing in his ears again. Back in his cave, surrounded by silence, his anger crystallizes into a plan to destroy Christmas forever, to take from the Who's the thing they love most. He will steal Christmas. He constructs a sleigh from scrap metal and junk, sewing a Santa suit with jagged red fabric by candlelight. He straps antlers to Max's head, turning his loyal dog into a reluctant reindeer. He sharpens his tools, polishes his boots, and rehearses the greatest heist the world has ever seen. As dawn approaches, the sleigh teeters on the edge of Mount Crumpet. The Grinch lashes the reins and tumbles downward through the snow, bouncing wildly, shrieking with manic joy. Reaching Whoville, he slinks across rooftops, sliding down chimneys, snatching decorations, trees, toys, presents, stockings, everything bright and beautiful. Every room is left cold and empty, stripped of celebration. Cindy Lou wakes to find the Grinch disguised as Santa in her living room. Instead of fear, she looks at him with soft innocence, and asks why he is taking the tree. He freezes, guilt flashing through him. He fabricates a story about fixing a broken light, and Cindy hugs him tenderly before returning to bed. The hug lingers like warmth he doesn't want to feel. Still, he continues, stealing every sign of Christmas from every house, filling his sleigh with the town's joy until it overflows. He rides back up Mount Crumpit with the stolen celebration, determined to watch the Who's break, to hear them cry, to witness the destruction of the holiday he hates. He reaches the peak before sunrise and awaits the sound he craves, weeping, despair, anger. But instead, he hears singing. Soft. Warm. Beautiful. The Who's gather in the town square, empty-handed, stripped of gifts and decorations. Their voices rise into the cold morning air, harmonies of hope and unity. They hold hands and sing with fuller hearts than ever before, smiling through the loss. Because for the Who's, Christmas is not about things. It's about love. Togetherness. Joy that cannot be stolen. And in that moment, an earthquake shakes the Grinch's chest. His heart grows, painfully, powerfully, swelling 3 sizes larger. His face softens, eyes fill with tears, and a sudden, overwhelming understanding strikes him like lightning. Christmas doesn't come from a store. Christmas means more. He falls to his knees, clutching his chest, overwhelmed by emotion he has spent a lifetime running from. Through tears, he whispers, "I'm sorry. I've done terrible things." He hears a tiny voice calling his name, Cindy Lou, climbing the steep mountain toward him, offering not anger, but forgiveness. She smiles at him with full trust, her tiny hand reaching out. The Grinch's voice breaks with panic. The sleigh begins sliding toward a cliff, laden with everything he has stolen. Without thinking, he dives forward, grabbing the reins, digging his hands into the snow, straining with every muscle in his body to stop it from falling. Max pushes beside him, Cindy pushes too, and with a final surge of strength, the sleigh halts at the brink. He laughs joyfully, lifting Cindy into the sleigh carefully, a newfound kindness shining through his eyes. He drives the sleigh back into town, bowed by guilt and humility. The Who's freeze as he steps into the center square, hands trembling. "I'm sorry," he says simply. "I was wrong." Silence falls. Then Cindy Lou steps forward and hugs him tightly, and the Who's, moved by her courage, welcome the Grinch into their circle. Martha May rejects the mayor and chooses kindness and sincerity instead, smiling warmly at the Grinch with the affection she always had for him. The Grinch carves the roast beast at Christmas dinner, his seat at the head of the table, surrounded by family not by blood, but by forgiveness. Max rests beside him, tail wagging. Laughter fills the air like bells. Warmth glows through every face. And a once broken heart shines brighter than all the lights in Whoville. Because Christmas isn't saved by presents, it's saved by love. If you enjoyed this narration, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Narrations, where Christmas magic lives again through storytelling.